Hello, my name is Deborah and this is the Edit by DH. Today it's a very interesting video just simply because a while ago I filmed a video about the brand Florasis, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and I named it because I didn't really know what else to name it other than the truth, which is Instagram made me buy it. So you know when you're on Instagram and you get those sponsored ads, it's actually really creepy how accurate these ads are. So it's almost like they're mind reading, or they know what's going on in your head, or they've heard the conversations that you've had with the people around you, and it's very, very, very targeted towards you. So I saw this brand pop up constantly called Florasis on my sponsored ads on Instagram, and I thought, you know what? Let me give it a go. The makeup looks actually really, really stunning. It really looks like art more than anything else. So I thought it could be one of those brands where it's really gimmicky and I end up, buying it and then getting it and end up really disappointed in it. But actually, if you've watched the first video, you'll see how impressed I was. So I will add a link to my video down below. Please do go watch. I will say part 1, even though at the time I didn't know if I'd be doing a part 2, so to speak. Then subsequently what happened was Florasis reached out to me, someone from the PR team, and asked if I would be interested in reviewing more of their products. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you will know how particular I am about who I so-called collaborate with or partner with. And there have been many brands that I have turned down just because I either haven't had the time, it doesn't align with my personal views or tastes. So there have been quite a few that I've turned down. And more importantly, what I do say to every single brand that reaches out to me is, if you want to collaborate, that's great. However, just be mindful that I do pride myself on honest reviews. So just because we're collaborating, don't expect me to blow smoke up your bum, because I will be really honest. So if the brand is happy to accept that, then we're great and we can continue. So Florasis, like I said, reached out to me, asked if I would be interested in reviewing some of their products. I said, hell yes, because I was very impressed with the first review or first impression I got of the brand. Didn't really think anything of it, just assumed that they would send me like 1 or 2 things. And then they've ended up sending me loads of items. So I will go through as much as I can in one video as possible and hopefully just walk you through as much as I can. If you don't know Florasis, this will be a great introduction, including part 1's video, into the brand and what they have to offer. But obviously, please go and do your own research. Go read the ingredients if you have any specific allergies or sensitivities. And hopefully this video will be a great taster into the world of Florasis. So for those of you who didn't watch part 1 or you're not very familiar with Florasis, I just wanted to quickly give you a little bit of their background story or their brand story. So it says, we are Florasis, a fast-growing, innovative makeup brand born by the West Lake in China. Our vision is to shake up the cosmetics market with Eastern beauty by bringing global users the most aesthetic and natural makeup products. We develop healthy and nourishing cosmetic products that contain herbal extracts and a lot of other caring ingredients. Our brand value is to inspire global users with Florasis traditional beauty rituals, Eastern aesthetics, philosophy, and modern technologies. So the brand name Florasis is based on a Chinese word. Now, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. If I do, someone should give me £1 million. But it says Hua Zi Hua Zi Shi Zi. Maybe that's what it is. So Hua is the floral essences. Shi Zi is another name of the first of 4 ancient Chinese beauties, which also represents the West Lake. So English name Florasis is Flora and sister. Flora is the goddess of flower. We use flower essence in our products to make it skin nourishing, and sis comes from sister. So that's just to give you a bit of background into the name. Firstly, I wanted to review the cleansing oil. Now, this cleansing oil isn't even on the market yet. They were very kind enough to send me this cleansing oil before it's even hit the US or Western market. I believe it's sold in China, but just wanted to show you the details. So not only is this pump dispenser cleanser so beautiful, it literally looks like art. Can you see that? There's like almost what looks like a flower bud inside. I have used this a little bit already, as you can see. I wanted to use it a little bit just before I reviewed it because there was no point in me saying, oh, the bottle's pretty and end of story. So far, I really like this cleansing oil. I, to be honest, don't know too much information about it just because it is new, but I will ask the Florasis team to give me information, and if I can, I'll include it in this video as a caption, or I will include it in an updated pinned comment. So what I can say about this oil is it's very lightweight. So I am a huge fan of cleansing oils as my choice of cleanser, and I have found I normally like the Bobbi Brown Soothing Cleansing Oil. That's like an OG of mine and one that I always tend to kind of gravitate towards. I have started using the Tatcha cleansing, I think it's a Camellia cleansing oil, which is also really nice. And I generally tend to like cleansers that I can use on my eyes as well. Now, what I like about this is it can be used on the eyes. I mean, I haven't had any reaction to it, and it doesn't have any fragrance to it as far as I'm aware, because when I use it, there's no scent to it. Unlike the other two oils that I've just mentioned, it feels a lot lighter. So if you're somebody that doesn't necessarily like the kind of oily feeling of a cleansing oil, which is kind of ironic, but if you don't like that really thick feeling of a cleansing oil, like I personally don't mind it, I like an oil. But if you don't like it and want something lighter, this Florasis cleansing oil would be perfect. And as per any cleansing oil, you dispense a few pumps into your hand and then you just literally dry rub it on your face, really work the oil into your skin so that the makeup dissolves, and then apply water. And then as soon as this hits water, like most cleansing oils, it turns into like a milky formula. So far I'm really impressed and I really like it, so I'm going to continue to use it. If there's any other significant differences that I find, good or bad, I will put an update in the pinned comments with a date of the update, but otherwise so far so good. But I mean, how stunning is this? And just having this on your bathtub area, it's just so pretty to look at, so I love it. Just to quickly explain, I had received these products just before traveling to Korea, and I just knew that I'd be too busy to review this in Korea, so I didn't bother taking the products with me. Let the PR lady know that that was the case, but that I would review it as soon as I came back. I actually felt really guilty, so I was like, I'm really sorry, I will review it as soon as I'm back. And then she kindly said, you know what, I can send you more products, like a couple more products to you in time for your return if you'd like. So I didn't expect it at all, and so that was also a really lovely surprise. And the reason I'm explaining this to you is because that is the reason why I have two powders. So the original powder that was sent to me is this one. So this is called the Fairy Peach Blossom Ultra Light Setting Powder, and it's the Porch Window edition. Comes in shades 01 Snow, which has a natural shimmer, shade 2 Jade, which is a natural matte, and shade 3 Mist, translucent matte. So I say shade, but really it's going to be an undertone if anything else. So I'm not sure which shade this is, I'll have a look in a minute. So it says that number 1 is for light skin tone, creating a breathable and shimmering look. Number 2, the natural matte, is for light to medium skin tone, creating a slight matte and soft focus effect. And then the 3 is for all skin tones, enhancing foundation. So this apparently is the Florasis star product. Apparently it sells 400,000 products a month, which is insane. So they must be doing something good, because how can you sell 400,000 products? One product, by the way, if it wasn't good and didn't kind of speak for itself in terms of quality. And another thing that I really liked is that Florasis said that every time they get customer feedback, they will review it and adapt it. So that's really positive to know that not only do they read the feedback, but they take it on board and then try to improve their brand and their products as a result of it. So it says it's got red 𝕕𝕠𝕟𝕠𝕚 ingredients to prevent dull and oxidized base makeup. I really like that because oxidized makeup is not the be all and end all, but I don't like oxidized makeup, especially like foundations, when you think you've shade matched perfectly and then literally an hour later you're as orange as an Oompa Loompa. I can't be dealing with that. I just like minimal hassle, minimal faff, and just want to put my makeup on and be done with it, not like worry about it, you know, an hour later and then think, oh god, it's now like my face is too warm for my neck. It also is a light translucent look. It's oil controlling, but at the same time it's moisturizing. And it's got a screw cap design with a small mirror. It's convenient to carry out, no talcum powder, and safe ingredients. It's also quite light, but not so light where it feels cheap. Like I feel like some products when they're not that weighty do feel cheap. Because I remember one time, I'm going off a tangent a little bit, someone who watched my video commented saying, well, does weight add value to the product? Yes and no, because it's normally the packaging that people use. So often it's the cheaper materials and products that are very lightweight, and therefore you feel like, oh, like, okay, if it's a drugstore product, yes, you are getting what you're paying for. But alternatively, if you're paying like a load of money for like a blush for a very famous, you know, high-end designer names, and it feels like nothing, it just doesn't have that expensive feel to it. So the funny story about this powder is it took me ages and my other half ages to figure out how to open it. So I should have read here screw cap design, but normally if you've got a button here, you normally press it and it pops up, right? And I was like this, and we were just really struggling to open it. So literally all you do is twist it and it opens. So that's what they mean by screw cap design. You guys might be sitting there going, that's so obvious, you are so stupid, and perhaps that is the case. But anyway, we figured out in the end. This is what it looks like inside. It comes with a really beautiful plush sponge. It's just so soft, and the colour itself is just so gorgeous. It's so rich. And then each Florasis makeup product comes with a mirror sticker, so it protects the mirror from any makeup. So it's good if you don't want to get makeup on your product, but then if you want to actually utilize the mirror, you can take the sticker off, etc. So when I open it up, it reveals a like a cover, like so. Can you see that? And then very light powder. Now this has no shimmer to it, so I'm assuming it's shade 2, which is the natural matte. So before I try that on, I just wanted to show you the other powder. Now this seems to be the exact same product. I could be wrong, because it's also called Gorgeous Peach Blossom Powder. The difference is the packaging. So as you can see, it's in this white packaging, which I'll go on to more about in a minute. This is one of their newest product releases. Again, I'm so fortunate to receive this. This is the products that the PR lady sent to me more recently. And this is in collaboration with a designer called Fang. So again, the same twist, and it reveals, again, the similar design in the mirror, the gorgeous puff, and then the powder. The powder looks a little bit lilac-y, so I might read a bit more into that. So yes, this is a different shade. It's actually called Lavender, which this product doesn't have the option. This is called Lavender shade. That's why there's like lavender tint to the powder. So it's described as a breathable setting powder that gives you an even light and transparent jade-like look. It's an ultra-fine powder, yes it is. Zircon milling technology makes the powder finally be as light as air, which feels lightweight on skin and allows the skin to breathe. It's non-comedogenic with extracts of organic leaves of blackcurrant and raspberry and white water lily. The talc-free formula controls sebum oxidization and makes the powder friendly to acne-prone and sensitive skin. It's 24-hour long-lasting with soft matte finish, porous oil absorbing particle for a perfect shine control. It settles your look perfectly for a soft matte and flawless finish all day long. It's sweat and waterproof. It's got X-Coat waterproof coated silicone technology with strong powder dispersion, 24-hour transfer resistant, and it's not cakey. There's also no creasing. It's multiple shape particle for perfect skin fitting, no more uneven finish, and perfect application without creasing. So wow, there's a lot of things going on, but it sounds like it's very, very, very ideal for a powder. It says to just prep it with the puff and just use that. I, as you can see, have deliberately got base on, but I deliberately left my face as much as a blank canvas as possible for this review and to use the products that I received. So I might use half and half. I mean, you might not see a difference on camera, but I might be able to tell a difference. I'm going to first go in with this white powder. And I'm going to use it on the left side of my face. I mean, it says to use a puff, but I just wanted to go in and use a smaller brush and yeah, I can see that is oil controlling. Can you see how less shiny my face is on this side versus this side? And obviously, if you use the puff, it will be even more mattifying. So let me go in and use the puff. I'm going to tap off the excess. It is a really fine powder, so try not to breathe it in if you can. I am really impressed with this powder, guys. I don't know what I was expecting, especially because it was white. I've always learnt with makeup never to assume. You never know, it can surprise you. But I didn't know what to expect. But it's such a beautiful texture, honestly. I tend to use the Charlotte Tilbury, I think it's called the Flawless Base. You guys will know what I'm talking about, Flawless Finish powder. And I love that one, but sometimes it can look a bit cakey, especially if you do like layers. So say like you've put on some powder in the morning, then in the afternoon you're out and about and you want to apply more powder, and then that's when it starts to accumulate and you can see that it starts to look cakey. My skin is, I can't see any texture, honestly, and it's just mattified it enough without looking cakey at all. So you can definitely see the difference, can't you guys? This side with powder, this side without. I mean, normal, wonderful, sweaty Betty. So let me go in with the lavender powder on this side and see how much of a difference it makes. The packaging is just so gorgeous. I know the packaging isn't all that, like it's not the most important thing, but let's be honest, in makeup, a lot of women especially get makeup because of the packaging. So I'm going straight in with the puff. By the way, there's no fragrance to it, which I love. I hate fragranced products. Actually, that's a lie. I do like fragranced products, but I don't like heavily fragranced, and some are just unnecessarily fragranced. Again, does the same thing. Beautiful. I love it so much. Honestly, there are some brands where I love everything but the powder of the brand or the powder of the new launch, and I am shocked at how much I love the powder, to the point where it will literally, you know, I like something if it takes place at the head of my makeup table. So this is literally going to go at the head of my makeup table. It's so good. I can't personally see a difference between the lavender and the other powder. I mean, you guys might see it and you might say it's glaringly obvious one side of your face is purple, which I hope it's not, but One thing I will say is, in terms of the description given, it seems like the lavender colour, I should say lavender, not purple, the lavender powder is supposed to be 24 hours, longer wearing, water sweat resistant. So let's see. Actually, that's a really good test. I did that unintentionally, but it's worked out perfectly. Throughout the course of this filming, I'm in a room, the windows aren't open because otherwise there'll be so much noise. I'm actually sweating to the high heavens. So let's see throughout the course of this filming how my face reacts, how this powder sits, if it brings up any texture, if my face sweats, if this side is less sweaty than this side because this is supposed to be 24 hours, sweat resistant, water resistant, etc. So let's see. That'd be a really good test. So far, so good. And by the way, I didn't give the price for the cleansing oil because I don't know how much it costs. But if I again find that information out, I'll let you know. But with this powder, so it's $36. This powder is $36. And actually, on that note, I just did exactly what I was about to warn you not to do, is to make sure you keep it the right way up, because even though it comes initially with this insert, this like cover, if it moves, the powder goes everywhere. So when you first open it, especially if you have like dark carpets, I would just open it over a bin so that in case the fine powder just comes in front of your face, it will just settle in the bin rather than on your nice carpet or your nice clothes. Again, watch out when you're wearing nice clothes, especially if it's black. I love the way that it opens and closes. So next up, I wanted to go through this. And I could not wait to play with this. So I'm sorry guys, I've already played with it. I already know what it's like, but I can speak with more passion about it as a result. So this is the 4-in-1 palette, which is a contour, highlight, blush, and eyeshadow palette. How amazing is this palette? Now, I've seen so many palettes on the market that has contour, highlight, blush. There's one brand particularly that rhymes with 𝕕𝕚𝕚𝕚, not mentioning names, but you know when you think it's the same old crap, sorry, it is. And often it's like not really wearable because it's like super shiny. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a highlighter, but there's a time and a place for it. So when I saw this palette, I fell in love with it instantly, because there are times where I will see contour palettes and I will love the contour shade, I love the highlighter, but I'm like, oh, the blush, if only the blush was different, or you know, everything would be great, but the contour shade is too orange. And I'm like, oh, why is it so orange? Really, contour shade should be cool because it's supposed to mimic shadow. Alternatively, like the highlighter is too dark or too pale or too silvery. There's always one thing that I'm like, oh, I wish this was different. This is probably one of the most perfect 4-in-1 contour palettes I've ever seen. And I'm not saying that because I've received PR. Like I said, guys, I will be brutally honest if I need to be. Because I dipped into it yesterday, I'm just going to put a picture up above of what it looked like when I first opened it up. And you will see in the left, I feel like a ringmaster, you know, for the boxers. On the left, we have a dragon. On the top, we have what looks like a phoenix. On the bottom, there's a tortoise. And on the right, there is what looks like a lion. It's just so stunning. What it says is it's a fine powder, is easy to blend. This palette comes with matte and shimmer powder. When applied, the matte powder is smooth and pigmented, while the shimmer powder is clear and lustrous. It's got a floral essence, no crease, non-patchy. The formula is enriched with peony and calendula extracts, along with excellent moisturizing ingredients, making the powder more delicate for a seamless look. It is easy to blend and hides your pores. The bronzer defines the inner and outer contours. The highlighter brightens depressions on your face, and the blush brings out your vitality, creating a defined contour effortlessly. And then it says the carving, the miniature relief engraving craftsmanship to create the 3D patterns of Chinese ancient gods of the 4 seasons. See, this is why it's good to have a background story to it, because otherwise I would have just thought it's like 4 ancient kind of animals rather than the 4 ancient Chinese gods. I was hoping that there'd be a bit more information about the 4 ancient gods, but I guess they don't have enough space on their website. So if any of you who are Chinese and or are of Chinese heritage, please, I'd love to know the story behind the 4 ancient Chinese gods, because I feel like that would give me so much more of an experience when applying this makeup, and it will just remind me every time I look at this palette, because I know the story behind it. So if you know, please let me know. With this, the reason why I love it is just because there's a matte powder which I feel like would be a really good eyeshadow base, and potentially could be a setting powder if you're really desperate, but generally I just stick to is using it as an eyeshadow base. Then here's a contour, obviously the highlighter and the blush. So the contour and the blush are matte, and then the highlighter is the only thing that is a shimmery, which is really the way it should be. Also, you can use it as eyeshadows, because I did that yesterday when I went out. It's creamy enough to do that, so just as an FYI. So let me stop talking and apply this. So I'm just going to dip into the contour first. Every time I dip in here and it's slightly dents the engraving, makes me feel sad a little bit. You will see how perfect this contour shade is. And with any contour, I just like to build it up, so it's not too strong in the beginning. I like to add a little bit on my temple area, obviously my double chin. It is honestly the perfect contour colour. It's not too cool, it's not too warm, and I feel like it would actually suit a lot of skin tones. It's one of those colours that are buildable as well. So for someone who's fairer, you would just use a small amount and contour your face. For someone who's more deeper olive complexion, again, you can build it up. And it's such a good colour. And also the powder is so creamy that it just blends in beautifully. So that's the contour. Then I'm going to go into the blush. And I know from yesterday that it's quite pigmented, so I'm just going to go with a little bit first. I just like to hit the top of my cheeks. Honestly, this is the perfect blush colour. And again, I can just see it suiting so many complexions. I'm really impressed by the colour choices that they've made for this palette. Okay. And like what I like to do is with my foundation brush, I don't add any more foundation. I just like to just gently blend out the edges so that everything is seamless, is one, and just looks like skin. Then I'm going to go in with the highlighter shade and just hit the high points of my face. Like even this highlighter, guys, how stunning is that? Some contour palettes have highlighters and it's like naff, nothing happens. And again, with this highlighter, you can either do a light amount or build it up for a real glowy effect. And then what I'll do is just add a bit of highlighter to my finger and just dab in the inner corner of my eye, just to give it a bit more of a brightening effect. And then I'll go in with a smaller brush and just apply some of this base to my eyelid. More than anything, it's just going to neutralize the color on my eyelid, but also kind of mattify it, ready for the powders later on. Like so. Can you see why I'm obsessed with this contour palette? Like honestly, if you want that one contour palette, especially to go on travels with you, this would be the one. Like how stunning, seriously guys. It just applies so beautifully. And some contour powder palettes, like you really have to have expertise to really work with the powder. But I honestly believe that in this day and age, because there's so much competition and so much choice, just go for a brand or a product where it just does the hard work for you. And in this case, the powder is very creamy. You don't have to do much to it to make it look seamless, flawless, blended out, etc. And with the palette as well, look, again, it's got the Phoenix. It's just such a stunning... I've never seen any makeup brand like this. Please comment down below if there's a makeup brand that you've seen that's as beautiful as this, or as artistic as this. Like, you could literally have a mantelpiece in your home and stack, you know, these makeup products side by side, and it would literally look like art. One thing I actually forgot is the lip balm. How cute is that? It reminds me of a little UFO, don't ask, but it, like, yeah, reminds me of a UFO. It's a ginseng lip balm. It just says that it's hydrating, deep nourishing, cooling. It's a gentle nourishment for the lips, moisturizing and soothing. Now, I definitely know that it's soothing because I applied it yesterday before popping out to the shops, and it has this like really pleasant, like peppermint cooling kind of sensation. I don't really get a smell of ginseng in it because ginseng smell is very distinctive. And I'm Korean, so I know what ginseng smells like. I mean, if anything, it's very, very subtle, but more than anything, I do get the smell of mint. So I'm just going to pop some on my base. Should have done this earlier. I normally do this at the beginning when I apply my skincare. It's just so beautiful. And I love lip balms that have like a peppermint kind of smell or feeling to it, rather than like a fruity lip balm. It's just my jam. Fruity lip balms are great. They make me feel nostalgic. They remind me of the 90s when I was at high school, college. But as a grown-up, I really, really, really like minty lip balms. And in fact, the smell is almost similar to the La Mer lip balm, just to give you an idea. So it says, a thick layer before sleep can soften and reduce lip wrinkles. A thin layer under your lipstick can moisturize your lips, enhance the color and avoid creases. Obviously, if you do apply this before your lipstick, it's going to rub off a lot quicker as well and potentially move around a bit more. But if you've got, say, a lipstick that's maybe a little bit more on the drying or matte side and you want to hydrate it a little bit more, add this and you've got your answer. So it's light and cooling. The lip gel mask is lightweight and easy to apply. It has a slightly cooling effect which moisturizes your lips without greasiness. The formula is enriched with extracts of radix, sulphore and Solomon's seal to pamper your delicate lips and reduce dryness and roughness. The case takes the sleek and delicate design of a Cape gooseberry, one of the ingredients in the recipe. Wow, that's really cute. I didn't know that. So that's supposed to be a Cape gooseberry. And it does come with a custom-made mini spoon to open the lid or scoop out the gel for hygienic reasons. So even though it's very small, trust me, a little goes a long way. And by the way, they have a lip exfoliator. I feel like I now want the lip exfoliator because I'm really impressed with the lip balm. Anyway, so I already have one of the other palettes from Florasis that I bought myself last time. And this time the team kindly sent me the Floral Engraving Ode Makeup Palette. It's called The Encounter. Now, if you have seen Florasis on Instagram, many of you will be familiar with this palette design because it's just, again, so stunning and it's really eye-catching. I just love how it's got a little bit of like shine to it as well, glossiness, so that it's more like 3D. And then it looks like a fan and you basically open it up and it reveals the eyeshadows. Again, how stunning is that? What I like about it is you've got kind of like your conventional safe colors and then you've got like pops of random colors. Now, I'll be completely honest, these are the kind of shades that I do not go for. It's just not my jam. But I know that if I did want to use this, like a little liner with it or like a little pop in the corner or just even underneath would look really, really cool. So there are different ways to wear it, even if it's not your usual shade. But I know that I'm the boring one. I know many people who would love and be attracted to a colour like this. But other than that, like all the other colours are so wearable. I just wanted to show you this firstly. I will come back to this, but I wanted to show you another eyeshadow palette that I got, again, as part of the Susan Fang collaboration. So this is what it looks like. And I kept the box because I just wanted to show you the presentation. This is slightly different to the normal Florasis presentation. So it really feels expensive. I mean, it has Chinese writing. I can't obviously read it, but you open it up and that's how the eyeshadow comes. So the cover is got this slightly iridescent finish on the top. And if you open it up, this is the eyeshadow. So I believe there are other shades in this collection, but this is just one of the examples. So this is the 𝕕𝕚𝕚𝕓𝕖 Eyeshadow Palette, the Pearl Edition. Like I said, the Susan Fang collaboration. It's $56. And this particular shade is Mermaid in Moonlight, but they also have a shade called Bride in Sunrise, which I'll pop a picture up above. But it's so stunning. And it just says that it's 3 delicate textures in one portable palette. There's a matte, shimmer, a glimmer. And it says it's fine powder, elegant oriental shades inspired by the scenery of sunrise and moonlight. Liquid to powder technology, refined and pigmented for easy application without fallout. It's inspired by the wisdom of traditional Chinese medicine. The formula is enriched with peony and calendula extracts along with pearl powder for eye skin nourishing. A long bracelet designed by Susan Fang, I'll show you that in a second, decorated with her iconic elements of beads and knits. Attached to the case of eyeshadow palette, it could be a fashion accessory for dressing up. So this is called Mermaid in Moonlight, which is obviously, like it says, inspired by the moonlight, and the other palette is supposed to be inspired by the sunrise. Personally speaking, I actually prefer the colours of Bride and Sunrise, just because, again, I like my safe colours, but this is also beautiful. And actually I used this as a base and this as a glitter yesterday when I went out, so I'll pop a picture up above. I won't apply it just now, but I will do a hand swatch for you. So let me just quickly do a swatch of all 4 shades. It is very creamy. I'm going to do really obvious swatches, by the way, so that you guys can get an idea of the colours. So that's the colours in the palette, and that's obviously the glitter. It's very pinky, lavendery, lilac-y. So if you are that kind of person who likes those tones, this would be perfect for you. And then the accessory mentioned comes in this box, and this is the accessory. So actually, it's a necklace, which is really cute. Now, would I wear it? Being completely honest, no. It's definitely, I don't know what material it is. I can assure you, you have one shower with this on and it will change colour within however long. But what I will say is that it is a nice touch, and it's a nice gift for people who like this sort of accessory. If you've got kids, honestly, they would love this because, you know, it looks pretty. And I can imagine especially like young girls and young teenagers really liking this. So yeah, I think it's cute. Is it for me personally? No, it's designed by Susan Fang. So just wanted to show you. So going back to this palette, it says the palette reproduces the Eastern relief carving crafts and the exquisite and 3-dimensional patterns that are inspired by the nymph of the Luo River. So it's an ode to the goddess of the Luo River. It's an ancient Chinese poem created by 𝕕𝕠𝕣𝕘𝕗, a writer living in the state of Wei during the Three Kingdoms periods. In his tale, 𝕕𝕠𝕣𝕘 is returning from the capital to his own land when he stops at the Lao River for a rest, where he sees a vision of the goddess so powerful that he instantly falls in love with her. 𝕬𝕠 sees a nymph of peerless beauty, as elegant as a startled swan and supple as a swimming dragon. What descriptions! Though he's swept away by her ethereal beauty, it's a love that isn't meant to be. So it's a package that's in the shape of an oriental folding fan. It's multifunctional and can be used as eyeshadow, blush and highlighter. And it's not only a palette, but it's also an art piece of embossing, that's for sure. Its specially designed powder is easy to apply and nourishes your skin from inside out. After application, it adheres to your complexion seamlessly without being powdery. And again, ingredients extracted from floral essences nourish your skin gently. So let me just remind you of the colours. I really love the colours. I love these like warm bricky terracotta tones. This could be like smoky shadow slash liner, highlight. Oh, I just don't know what to go for. The only thing I will say about this palette and the colour choices, having looked at it more closely, is I feel like some of the colours are very similar in similar kind of brackets. So if you were to do a smoky eye with it, yes, it's great because they will all blend in really well, but sometimes you wouldn't notice too much of a difference between some of the shades, where it's just sort of like blends into one and it's sort of like this shade seems like that shade, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the only feedback I'll say. Otherwise, it's such a pretty palette. Let me just apply something, guys, and bear with. So I've just finished a brief eye look. So I put this shade as my base and put this shade as sort of like a corner smoky, this shade as a spotlight, this same shade as my base underneath, this as a golden spotlight on the top of my eye, and this shade just underneath here. Oh, and then I've used this shade as a sort of like a smoky liner. Again, super creamy, super easy to use. And I want to show you swatches. So what I'll do is I'll swatch the bottom big two first and then the rest. So that's the colour I used as my base, and I really actually like it. It's such a it's a good neutral colour, not too warm. So those are the swatches. Can you see? Some really stunning shades actually. This pink is stunning. Iridescent again. Like it's gold, it's got gold tone to it, but there's also like a pink and a lilac in there somewhere. But yeah, very, very stunning shades. And again, they just apply so easily to the eye. Very, very creamy, even though they're a powder. They also provided a mascara. Now, I actually have falsies on right now, and so I don't want to ruin it by applying mascara. However, I will apply it to the bottom lashes. So this is called the Pine Soot Precise Definition Mascara. It's got 1,000 bristles, it's waterproof, high definition. The mascara comes with 1,000 bristle applicator for long and highly defined eyelashes to create a natural eye makeup look. Now, I just want to show you the wand because the wand is insane. You see? Tiny, tiny bristles. Like, they're probably the tiniest bristles I've ever seen on any mascara. So I'm really excited to try this. I just wish I didn't have false lashes on so that I could try it on properly, but hey ho. Now, I don't have great lower lashes, but you can already see the difference between this and this. This here you can see the lashes and here you can't. And really, if you're going to apply lower lash mascara, waterproof is the best because it's like really close contact to your lower lash line and you don't want your eye makeup to smudge. Like, look at that. It's actually really pretty. Love that. And it says that it's got a patented applicator which you know has 1,000 fibers. So it defines each eyelash with an even coating. It's water and sweat proof. Apparently it adopts an oil-based formula that's water and sweat resistant to protect against all smudging. So actually it's perfect for anyone's eyes, but especially Asian women's eyes. This mascara blends microcrystalline waxes with different melting points to keep your eyelashes curled and erect. That's interesting. It's long and natural looking. The formula is enriched with silk powder. It coats your lashes layer by layer for long and natural looking lashes. So yeah, super impressed so far. I just wish I could have tried it on properly, but I will. When these bad boys come off, I will. Last but not least, I'm going to move on to lips. So for lips, I'm spoilt for choice because I got initially given these two products, which are liquid lips. But I also got gifted a lipstick from the new Susan Fang collection as well. Do you know what? I'll just try them all on. So let me just show you that picture from earlier where I had like a light stain of the Susan Fang one. Let me apply it properly. So again, I kept the packaging just to show you because the Susan Fang packaging is really cool. It's called the 𝕕𝕦𝕓𝕤𝕗 Love Lock lipstick and it's the Pearl edition and it's $59 US. So when you open it up, that's what it looks like again. The Florasis lipsticks are famous for being in this Love Lock case and they always come with a matching accessory. Let me just attach this accessory whilst I explain a funny story. Well, I say funny, but in my last video, I mentioned that I found this sort of accessory kind of thing a little bit tacky. So that's what it looks like. Yes, it's cute. I would still say it's not my jam. And quite a few people were upset because they felt like patriotic or very defensive about this accessory. Listen, we can all have our own tastes and it's not that I'm saying that my opinion is right. It's literally just my opinion and that's what it is at the end of the day. If you say it's beautiful, if you say it's the best thing that you've seen ever since you were born, I'm not going to disagree with you. It's because that's what you think and then I think what I think. So that is the beauty of having our own opinions. I personally just don't really see the point of it unless like you wanted to carry it around with you, but I think it's cute, but personally I prefer it without. And listen guys, I did say I'm going to be honest, didn't I? So if I said I'd loved every single thing, would it be realistic? No. So this is the lipstick bullet itself. It's extremely intricate and as per all the usual, this is what the Love Lock looks like. You push here where the key is and it pops out. It honestly reminds me of a James Bond gadget. And then twist it up to reveal the lipstick. Now I'm going to pop a more detailed close-up of the lipstick bullet separately because I did use this. Although having said that, it still looks pretty brand new. But just to give you a detail of how intricate the engraving is, so stunning. It's like art. Because I've got this ginseng lip balm on, which is still present on my lips, I'm just going to quickly apply this lipstick. So you've seen it as a stain. So that's what it looks like. It's such a beautiful colour and it just instantly brightens up the face. It's only available in 2 shades. So this colour is I Love You and the other shade is called Yes I Do. So the names are so cool, but actually I prefer this colour, I Love You. It's firm enough to give definition and to be able to perfectly outline the lips. So that's what I really love about it. And it just feels like an experience every time you apply your lipstick, which is more than can be said about a lot of lipsticks. Imagine taking this out of your handbag. I mean, it's just amazing. It's an exquisite design, pearl white Love Lock case with artistic patterns of mother of pearl, inherited the traditional Eastern micro-relief craftsmanship and reinvented with advanced technology. The paste is engraved with the exquisite 3D patterns of being the pearl in the eyes of your love. It's a soft velvet matte finish, intensely pigmented colour and coverage in one stroke, providing an even and pure colour. Lasting comfort, so it's weightless and supple texture, applies smoothly and evenly with a lightweight feel, dressing lips in a more vivid colour and maximum coverage. It's nourishing because it's enriched with extracts of cotton rose, summer snowflake flower and Madonna lily. How nice are those flower names? To nourish your lips and reduce lip wrinkles. Zero fragrance, zero alcohol. And then there's a short bracelet designed by Susan Fang, decorated with her iconic elements of beads and knits. Attached to the case of lipstick, it could be a fashionable accessory for dressing up. So, okay, so it can be a bracelet as well. So like this. Let me just remove this so I can try on the liquid lips next. So these are the 𝕕𝕦𝕓𝕐 long-lasting liquid lipsticks, impression of dye. So it's inspired by the unique silk watered gauze of China, a textile that undergoes a traditional dyeing technique that uses plant-derived dyes to create lush colours. This formula is enriched with floral essences from peony, multiflora rose and more to nourish your lips and to give a long-lasting finish. It's got a lightweight texture, it's got a long-lasting finish, and it's highly saturated in colour. It goes on smoothly. It's also enriched with some of the most effective floral essences traditionally used by the dye people, including 𝕕𝕠𝕟𝕣𝕚 officinalis maxim, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Paris polyphylla, and more, to moisturize, prevent oxidative stress and deliver a matte finish without drying. It's in a limited edition design inspired by the neck jewelry worn by the dye people. So that must be the neck jewelry, which is absolutely stunning. Imagine wearing that. My God, how regal would you feel? The beautifully formed case combines with a set of decorative dye elements to celebrate exquisite, dynamic and inspiring dye art. There are 8 shades in total, and I have been given 2 of the 8 shades. So one is Blooming Lotus, which is M306, which is a deep colour, but it's actually really gorgeous. And then the other is M219, which is Apricot. They're quite similar, but one's a little bit more bricky and one's a bit more orangey. So let me try them both on. Let me try the Apricot first. So this is Apricot, which is, oh my God, it's so stunning. I love it. And by the way, you can wear it as a stain, but I've obviously applied it fully. It's such a nice texture. It feels really velvety and it's not very liquidy, even though it is a liquid lipstick. So if you guys know the Nars Power Matte Lip Pigments, which are liquid lipsticks, listen, I worked for the brand for a while and I used to have to wear it almost every day. And so I know the formula very, very well. It's very, very liquidy. It's very, very runny. And it's just one of those formulas that if it sort of knocked to the side or fell near a customer, I would literally, my heart would stop and I would nearly have a heart attack, because once it went on a customer's jacket, so which wasn't great. The key point about that is when it's really runny and liquidy, where I have a lot of texture around my mouth, especially a lot of fine lines, what happens is it bleeds into the lines. So I found like no matter what I did, whether however I set it, what primer I use, it still bled into the lines. And that's just because of how liquidy it is. Whereas with this, I feel like it would not do that. So it's just the perfect matte where it's not super drying, it's just soft and just comfortable on the skin. Like some liquid lipsticks just sort of set on your lips and you can feel it setting, and it gets a bit crunchy. I don't know if you know what I mean, whereas this doesn't have that feeling at all. So this is Apricot, and I will try on the other shade, which is Blooming Lotus. And this is Blooming Lotus. Again, such a gorgeous colour. So again, just to remind you, of the shades. This is Blooming Lotus, which is what I've got in my mouth now, and then Apricot, which I tried on just before. It's just so comfortable, honestly. So the only other thing to really cover is going back to the powders, like I said I would. This side had just the normal powder, and this side had the lavender long wearing powder. So when I look at my face, obviously shine has started to come through. I obviously have put on highlighter, but I did it mainly here, the high points, less so here. So here is where I tend to get really shiny. It's a bugbear of mine. And I don't know if this is my imagination. I feel like this side is shinier than this side. But even with the shine, it's not too bad. I mean, I probably would still powder again. So let me just go back in. I just like how it kind of mattifies without being too drying. Like so. You still have the glow here, but here it's more mattified. Obviously, guys, I love this brand, not just because they sent me free stuff, but I loved the brand before, even before I even had any idea that they would send me anything. I never could have imagined that, actually. So I just want to thank the Florasis team for sending me and being so generous. Even with my order, if you guys saw my first video, you'll know the amount of freebies they gave was just insane. It's probably the most generous makeup brand I've ever seen in my life in terms of samples and freebies. And there are already so many things within this collection of freebies that I've got, and things that I've been so blessed to be gifted with, where I would pay my own money to buy again and again and again. So for example, the lip balm, the powder. I now want the lip scrub as a result of the lip balm. I love the lipstick formulas, and especially the liquid lips. So now it makes me curious about what other shades they've got in this collection. The eyeshadows just go on smoothly. It's just such a stunning brand. It's so easy to create like artsy gimmicky packaging, and then the products a bit like meh, whereas with this brand, not only do the products perform at such a high level, they also clearly care about the ingredients that go in it, which are, they focus highly on skin nourishing, which really appeals to me. The products are pretty much fragrance free, so they don't really have any scent to it. Also, the packaging itself is just like a work of art. You could be so proud to display it on your makeup table, on your mantelpiece, and it's something that you could keep for ages. So from every aspect, I'm just so happy with it. But I'd love to know what you guys think. I'd love to know if you've ever heard of Florasis. If you have, do you have any pieces? Have you seen it pop up sneakily on your Instagram ads? Just let me know what you think and what you think of this collection. If you saw my video, what did you think of that collection? But yeah, I am so happy with the final look, and I am sure you guys can understand why. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Take care.